Ladies and gentlemen, Romance Writers of America is proud to welcome you to the 37th Annual RITA Awards Ceremony. Your hostess is a New York Times best-selling author and former RITA finalist with more than 3 million books in print. Please welcome Allie Carter.
And welcome to the 37th Annual RITA Awards Ceremony. Actually, I don't need that quite yet. Thank you, though. He wanted to give me one. They do that. Boys like that. I wish. So before we begin tonight, I'd like to take a moment and recognize the winners and finalists of the Golden Heart Awards, which were given out earlier this afternoon, which is a great ceremony. It was amazing. Congratulations, everyone. The good news is that the hard part of your day is over. So you get to sit back and relax and laugh at all the RITA nominees who are nervous for the next 2 hours. Okay? If it's your first time joining us at the National Conference, welcome. We are incredibly glad that you're here. If you're an old conference veteran like me, I speak personally about the old there, not everybody else. You may have already noticed that we're shaking things up just a little bit this year. And, you know, it's a little bit different. And so I know some folks out there might be a tad bit confused. So if you are confused, let me just say, it's Thursday. Okay? It's not Saturday, it's Thursday. Everybody say that with me now. It's Thursday. Okay? As in the day before Friday, which is 2 days before the literacy autographing, which is the day before we all go home, which is the day after we all say, the heck with this, I'm just going to wear flip-flops. I know this is all super confusing, but we will get through it, I promise. Just remember, here's a handy tip, okay? Thursday is the new Saturday. Saturday is the new Wednesday. Wednesday is kind of the new Tuesday, but don't even worry about Friday. Friday is the same. Okay, Friday, we're good. We're all good tomorrow. Okay. I am personally incredibly proud of RWA for being willing to change things up. You know, take some chances, adapt. After all, we live in a society that is constantly changing. Here we are in the year 2017, which means Pratt is the new Pine. It's true. I will take the old Pratt, but we're good. Icarus is the new gunslinger. Yeah. Hermione is the new Belle. Instagram is the new Twitter. Star Wars is the new, well, Star Wars. And Diana is the new Amazon. But no matter how much our world and our industry might change, a few things about this business are always going to stay the same. For example, the deeper you get into copy edits, the harder it will be to tell the difference between lie, lay, and lane. And then you have to call my mother, because that's what I do. You should never, ever underestimate the power of a hero's eye color. And most of all, it doesn't matter whether you're looking for your first agent or you're finishing up your 200th novel. There is no aspect of this business that isn't a heck of a lot better when you get to share it with a friend.
Honestly, I am like that close to becoming a hermit.
I'm kind of half introvert extrovert, so I suffer alone and with people.
How are you talking?
Nobody wants to see someone who's unshowered, unchanged out of their 3-day-old sweats and sobbing because everything in their book is not working out.
I always call it writing into the void. Like you just, it's never done, you're always alone.
I lock myself up for a week or two and write nonstop. And then when I get out, I'm like, okay, I have to see everybody.
And if it weren't for you three, I would leave the house twice a month. And because of them, I leave the house 3 times a month.
You know, in the world of muggles, the wizard is sometimes respected but seldom understood.
So finding RWA was like finding the mothership. There were finally people like me that got me.
We've traveled together, roomed together.
Between the two of us, we've given birth to 3 babies and 5 books.
And more on the way.
And more on the way.
Books,
not babies.
And we've been through a lot together. Rejections, dipping our toes in the indie businesses, crisis of confidence.
And it's great to have someone who will brainstorm dirty words with me.
It's hot. And I'm like, we have been married long enough, you should know.
And then we just looked at each other and died laughing.
We had no idea we were actually married, and neither do our husbands.
And I've had my chapter mates and my friends hold my hand through everything. So it's been an education, a support system, everything.
Started talking, and she was like, I've got to go to the bathroom to change because I've got to catch a flight. I said, you know what, I'll go with you. And she was taking out contact lenses and changing clothes in the stall, and we're talking about plot problems that I'm having. And so there in the bathroom at the Marriott Hotel in Atlanta, I found my critique partner.
I spilt red wine on Cindy Gerard's white silk blouse during an open house at the Hartman party. Later that night in the room, I was telling everybody, and I said, you won't believe what I did today. And they're like, what? I said, I spilt wine on Cindy Gerard. And Eve started laughing. She said, well, guess what happened to me tonight? And I said, what? And she said, I spilt wine on Cindy too.
So it's good to know that we don't just write about love, we actually live it.
Our first presenter is a New York Times and USA Today best-selling author who knew she had found the right career when the only requirements for a very important meetings with her writer buddies Dawn, Ginny, and Jamie were chips, queso, and margaritas. Here to present the first Rita of the night for Best Romance Novella is last year's winner, Ronnie Lauren.
The Rita finalists for Romance Novella are Her Every Wish by Courtney Milan, self-published, Lindsay Faber, editor. The Husband Maneuver by Karen Whittemeyer and With This Ring, Baker Publishing, Bethany House, Charlene Patterson, editor. Let It Snow by Jeanette Gray, Grand Central Publishing, Forever Yours, Mega Parrick and Lexi Smale, editors. Let Us Dream by Alyssa Cole and Daughters of a Nation, self-published, Nina S. Gooden, editor. Searching for Mine by Jennifer Probst, Evil Eye Concepts, Liz Berry and MJ Rose, editors. Tycoon by Joanna Shoup, Kensington Publishing Corporation, Peter Simpleben, editor. Wild in Rio by Lissa K. Adams, self-published, Elaine Kulhanek, editor. And the RITA for Best Romance Novella goes to Her Every Wish by Courtney Milan.
So I didn't prepare a speech because I said there's no way I can win. I only brought a carry-on here, and there's no way I can take a RITA back, so apparently that works. RWA is not one community of 10,000 people. It's about 150 different overlapping communities of amazing people. And I would like to thank all of the communities that I'm a part of who have given me so much love and acceptance and support over the years that I've been a part of this organization. I feel really blessed by the friendships and the just general goodwill that I have experienced. This novella is actually really very special to me, and I was thinking earlier, when I was thinking that there was no way I could win, I was thinking about how this was a novella about a woman who entered a competition that only men had ever entered, and even though she had the best thing going for her, she didn't win because a man had to win. And I was thinking to myself, shit, that's actually kind of applicable today. So, this is to every woman who's had a wish, because I firmly believe that we are going to see ours no matter what comes in the future. Thank you.
I'm absolutely honored to be able to work with Courtney on this fabulous novella. Thank you so much to Courtney for the opportunity, and thank you to RWA for the recognition.
This New York Times and USA Today best-selling author met her best writer friend Megan Crane at the 2010 conference here in Orlando. They now live in the same small town and spend hours in coffee shops, plotting books, saying inappropriate things, and drawing strange looks from the locals. To present the RITA for long contemporary romance, please welcome Maisie Yates.
The RITA finalists for Contemporary Romance Long are Always a Bridesmaid by Lizzie Shane, self-published, Kristen Andrews, editor. Hot in Hellcat Canyon by Julianne Long, Avon Books, May Chen, editor. Make Me Sin by J.T. Geisinger, Montlake Publishing, Maria Gomez, editor. Miracle on Fifth Avenue by Sarah Morgan, Harlequin HQN, Flo Nickel, editor. Pansies by Alexis Hall, Riptide Publishing, Sarah Lyons, editor. Snowfall on Haven Point by Rayanne Thane, Harlequin HQN, Gail Chasen, editor. Tender is the Night by Barbara Freethy, Hyde Street Press. And the Rita for Best Contemporary Romance Long goes to Miracle on Fifth Avenue by Sarah Morgan.
Well, thank you, RWA, and to the judges for this amazing honour. I read all the books in my category, and they were amazing, so I know how fortunate I am to be standing here. I want to really thank my publisher, HQN, or everybody, but particularly Diane Moggy and Susan Swinwood. Whenever I wanted to take a different direction in my career, you've been right there encouraging me. That's so exciting, and I'm really looking forward to everything that's coming. I want to thank the UK team, particularly Lisa Milton, who's done wonderful things to build my sales in the UK. I'm really grateful to my wonderful agent, Susan Ginsberg. I wouldn't want to be in this business without her. Really grateful to all my friends, absent and present, which I'm not going to list because I'll forget someone and then I won't have any friends. To my readers, who are fantastic and message me all the time and send me emails. I'm really lucky with my readers. They're fantastic. To my wonderful family, my husband and my 2 boys, who are so supportive. But my biggest thanks tonight go to my editor, Flo. Everyone should have an editor like Flo. She is absolutely fantastic. I was told that I only had a maximum of a minute, and I can't possibly do her justice in a minute. But she is really tremendous, and I wouldn't want to do this without her either. So don't ever take her away from me. And the other good thing about Flo is she is an identical twin. And I'm very accident prone, so it's really good to know that if I break this one, there's another one waiting in the wings. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to quickly say that this book is Miracle on Fifth Avenue, but really, Sarah, you're the miracle. So I love working with you. I love your books. I love this book particularly, and so pleased that other people loved it as much as I did. And just, yeah, so thrilled for you, and thank you, RWA, for this amazing recognition.
Isn't it great so far? So happy. As I mentioned earlier, we kicked off the celebrations this afternoon at a very special awards luncheon honoring our Golden Hearts. And now we want to take just a minute to recognize these very rising stars for their amazing accomplishments. Please join me in welcoming #1 New York Times and USA Today best-selling author Sherilyn Kenyon.
Hi, everyone. Earlier today, I was honored to present the Golden Heart Awards, and I want you to please join me in congratulating our winners: Contemporary Romance, No Man Left Behind by Penelope Lees, Young Adult Romance, Listen by Jennifer Camicia, Historical Romance with Love in Sight by Christina Britton. Romantic Suspense, Semper Fi by Mita Carroll. Paranormal Romance, Constant Craving by Carrie W. Cole. Romance with Religious or Spiritual Elements, Wings of Love by Pamela Ferguson. Contemporary Romance Short, Job Opening, Billionaire's Wife by Susanna Irwin. And to everyone, whether you won or not, just if you entered in the Golden Hearts, you were all winners. And thank everybody for being here and all of you for winning tonight. God, this is wonderful. Thank everybody for being here.
When our next presenter finaled in the Golden Hornet, she received a note of congratulations from fellow YA writer Vanessa Bornfeld. Though they lived half a world away, when they finally met in person, they were already best of friends. To present the RITA for Young Adult Romance, please welcome Pentip Dunn.
The RITA finalists for Best Young Adult Romance are Affective Needs by Rebecca Taylor, Ophelia House, Maya Packard, editor. The Distance from A to Z by Natalie Blitt, Harper Teen, Annie Berger, editor. The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Harlequin, HQN Teen, Margot Lipschultz, editor. Summer of Supernovas by Darcy Woods, Penguin Random House, Crown BFYR, Emily Easton, editor. And the RITA for Best Young Adult Romance goes to The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout.
This is really heavy. So now I understand why you can't put it in a carry-on bag. That would be... I honestly have no speech prepared. I did not think I was going to win at all because this category is filled with amazing talent, and I mean, anybody could have won it. But wow, I'm a little emotional, which those who know me know I don't cry because I usually don't have a soul. Unless I meet Sherilyn Kenyon, where I cried on her at RT. That was kind of embarrassing. But I just want to thank first the amazing team at Harlequin Teen for wanting this book and supporting it. Also, Harper Collins, who did help out on a lot of the self-distribution. I want to thank my amazing agent, Kevin Lyon, who has always been supportive. I want to thank the readers and all of you guys in RWA, but most importantly, I want to thank Margot. This was one of the hardest books I wrote. I'm pretty sure we hated the characters by the end and was going to kill them all in a car accident or something. But we went through so many drafts, and honestly, it would not be what it is today without Margot. I mean, and that is legitimately the truth. So thank you for this, and thank you guys.
I think the best part about being an editor is being able to be a cheerleader, especially when the drafts are hard. And an author says, I don't think this book is ever going to turn out the way I originally envisioned. So being Jen's cheerleader for this book and seeing it grow better and stronger with each draft when it already started out amazing to begin with was a true joy. It's been an honor to work with Jen. And on behalf of everyone at Harlequin Teen, thank you so much to the RWA for this honor.
Our next presenter is a Lifetime Achievement Award recipient and a New York Times and USA Today best-selling author. She says she's made so many RWA friends that she now considers the National Conference her own family reunion. Presenting the RITA for Historical Romance Long, please welcome Sharon Sala.
Good evening. My pleasure to read the finalists for the Historical Romance Long. They are Dukes Prefer Blondes by Loretta Chase, Avon Books, May Chin, editor. How I Married a Marquess by Anna Harrington, Grand Central Publishing, forever. Michelle Beetlesbach, editor. No Mistress of Mine by Laurie Lee Gerke, Avon Books, Erica Sang, editor. Susanna and the Scot by Sabrina York, St. Martin's Press, Monique Patterson, editor. And the RITA for the best historical romance long goes to No Mistress of Mine by Laurie Lee Gerke.
Oh my God. I'd like to thank everyone at HarperCollins. They have always been so supportive of my career and wonderful, and my editor, Erica Sang, for being just so great in every way. I'd like to thank my wonderful husband, of course, because he is, and all my fans and readers who are the best. This is a rather bittersweet moment for me. While I was writing this book, my mother was diagnosed with cancer, and so I didn't know when I finally got it done and turned it in. I didn't know if it was even coherent, much less worthy to be up for this great honor, and I'm shocked and gratified and thrilled. My mom is gone now, but I know that she's watching, and I know she's very happy, and she's very proud, and I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for making my mama proud.
Working with Lori is just a joy, and I actually don't know what to say, because she is a beautiful person, and it shows in every word she writes. I'm really honored to be here working with her, and on behalf of Avon Books, thank you so much, RWA.
When working on a theme for this year's RITA ceremony, the committee took a good hard look at what makes RWA so special to its membership. After all, there are a lot of writing groups out there, right? I mean, what makes us the best? Sure, we can list all the practical reasons, like our numbers, for one. With over 10,000 members, we really are in a position to advocate for the romance genre and the people who write it. We're also very goal-oriented. I don't know if you've noticed that about us or not. We focus on taking our writing to the next level. And we always have our eyes on commercial success. In other words, show us the money. And we have really, really great local and special interest chapters too. I mean, whatever subgenre you write, there's probably a chapter for that, isn't there? But while all of these things are really great, I think there is a much bigger bonus that comes from being a part of RWA. And that is the fellowship that our members experience when they join. I mean, let's face it, at times this job can feel truly isolating. And there are days when we don't even wear pants. I mean, I'm not wearing pants right now. I bet a lot of you aren't, but my dress does have pockets. I really wanted to point that out at some point during the ceremony. See? RWA has the power to bring people together. Whether it's a ruthless critique partner to kill your darlings or someone to deliver Ben & Jerry's after you've just had a brutal rejection, or maybe it's just someone to help you find those darn pants.
One of the things I love about RWA is rooming with my friends, but it can get kind of crazy sometimes.
This is my very first conference after having the twins, so I'm feeling all this mom guilt. So I book a flight home on Saturday before the conference is even over, and 4 a.m. I wake up and I'm packing everything into my bag and I'm out of there before anyone even wakes up.
Oh my God, I can't believe she took all of her pants. I didn't have any pants, like none, or skirts, or anything to wear, you know, on the bottom. And I had a book signing coming up that morning, and naturally, I'm never early, so we didn't have much time to figure this out. So I'm the designated conference wife. I've solved problems. This particular problem, I could not solve. So I just told Angie, hey, just rock those hot pink pants. I'd slept in this pair of hot pink shorts, which were mostly clean and mostly not wrinkled. So I thought, you know, with the right attitude, I could own this, maybe. I mean, the readers were here to see me, and, you know, this is definitely me.
I found Angie in the lobby wandering around in baggy shorts, looking as if she was ready to go home already, even though I knew it was the big day. She was so casual about her predicament, but I was pretty sure she had several big events lined up. So Mary Jo Putney and I are friends from way back, and I knew she was a similar size to Angie, and she always packed lovely Chico outfits that never need any care. So I hauled her over to where I was meeting Mary Jo, explained the predicament, and Mary Jo took it from there like a trooper.
I thought, this is really not a good thing. It's very much like the nightmare of defending your dissertation or going into the first day of class in your underwear. I dug into my suitcase and came up with a pair of neutral, easy fit knit pants and sent them off.
I mean, I'd be thrilled to get a signed book for Mary Jo Putney, much less wear her pants.
It was really pretty funny. It was our very own Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
It was like our very own version of 6 Degrees of Separation. With pants.
This RITA winner and New York Times and USA Today best-selling author fell in love with medieval romance when her friend got tired of talking over their lunch break and passed her a Julie Garwood novel. Here to present the RITA for Romantic Suspense, Julie Kinner.
The RITA finalists for Romantic Suspense are All the Dead Girls by Rita Herron, Montlake Publishing. Allison Dashow, editor. Atone by Beth Yarnell, Penguin Random House, Love Swept. Sue Grimshaw, editor. Field of Graves by J.T. Ellison. Harlequin Mirror Books. Nicole Brabner, editor. Killer Countdown by Amelia Otten. Harlequin Romantic Suspense. Carly Silver, editor. Mr. and Mr. Smith by Helen K. Diamond. Penguin Random House Love Swept. Shauna Summers, editor. 1 Minute to Midnight by Nico Rosso. Carina Press. Rhonda Stapleton, editor. Repressed by Elizabeth Naughton, Montlake Publishing, Charlotte Herscher and Christopher Werner, editors. Tall, Dark, and Damaged by Sarah Andre, self-published, Anya Kagan, Touchstone Editing, editor. And the RITA for Best Romantic Suspense goes to Repressed by Elizabeth Naughton.
Gosh, wow. Totally didn't expect that, and I promise I didn't pay Julie to give me that. I want to say a big thank you to Montlake, especially Chris Werner, for taking this book and being excited about it. Charlotte Herscher, who is phenomenal with editing, and I am so happy to have her and hope that they never take her from me. The entire Montlake team, who's been so fun, especially this last week. Last night was fabulous. We had a great dinner. My agent, Laura Blake Peterson, who encourages me to write whatever I want and tells me not to follow the market, which is really encouraging. And my author friends, that video at the beginning that RWA shared about writer friends, I heard once that you come up with the authors that started at the same time as you, and that's very true. I have a lot of friends who are Golden Heart finalists with me back in '07, but there are so many who I've met along the way who have taken me in, like Julie and Dee, and the 2008 Pixies who let me go with them every January for Writers Weekend, and I'm so thankful for all of them. I also want to thank Joan Swan, who encouraged me to submit this book to Montlake when I wasn't sure what I was going to give them next. And finally, my family, my kids, Aaliyah, Bryce, and Reese, who are all watching, and my husband, Dan, who's here tonight to cheer me on. And all my readers, who I absolutely love, and all of the authors in this category who are absolutely phenomenal. Thank you.
Elizabeth is just so talented, and she's just a ball to work with, so I'm just thrilled for her to receive this award. So on behalf of everyone at Montlake Romance, thank you so much for the recognition.
Okay. Now it is time for one of my favorite parts of the RITA ceremony, the Lifetime Achievement Award. We all know how tough it can be to even break into this business, but to have a career that spans decades, well, that's the true dream. And each year we celebrate one of these amazing authors, someone who has made readers fall in love over and over and over and over and over and over again with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of RWA, Leslie Kelly, along with editor Erica Sang from Avon Books, and agent Nancy Yost from the Nancy Yost Literary Agency, who will introduce this year's Nora Roberts Lifetime Achievement Award.
We're honored to be up here today to introduce to you Beverly Jenkins, the 2017 recipient of the Nora Roberts Lifetime Achievement Award. I have to admit, when Bev called and asked me to do this, I freaked out a little. No, make that a lie. Writers aren't the only introverts. We editors like to stay behind the scenes, not stand up here in front of 2,000 people and who knows how many more watching via live stream. Okay, I'm not gonna think about that now. So after Bev's call, I went to my colleague's office and told her how freaked out I was. And she said, with an eye roll, "Oh, please, you're introducing Beverly Jenkins. The moment she steps onto that stage, no one's going to remember what you said."
I have to confess, I felt the same way. I suggested we not speak, but come out dancing to Proud Mary, and as the Bevettes usher Bev to the stage. Erica politely declined, and after realizing that it would be impossible to get the right costumes and a couple of other little issues there, I generously concurred with her editorial suggestion. I thought it best not to mention my other idea, where one of us was dressed up as a cigarette and the other an ashtray, and we were going to hang outside the convention halls. But that still left us with the dilemma of how to properly honor Beverly Jenkins.
We can tell you all about her publishing accomplishments. The first Beverly Jenkins book published was Night Song in 1994. Since then, she's written and published 34 adult novels that include 21 historicals, 8 contemporaries, 5 romantic suspense. She's also written 2 young adult and contributed to 5 anthologies. She has been with Avon Books for the past 24 years, has hit the USA Today bestseller list, has been nominated for 5 Romantic Times Awards, as well as the NAACP Image Award in Literature. She's been featured in the documentary Love Between the Covers, CBS Sunday Morning, The Wall Street Journal, People Magazine, and NPR. And she's a much sought-after speaker, having guest lectured at Oberlin University, the University of South Carolina, Duke University, and Princeton, among many others.
But then we realized the bigger question is, what does Beverly Jenkins represent? Every one of us is in this room because we believe in the power of books. They make us happy, they make us cry, they make us laugh, they make us feel better, they make us feel. For all of us who harbor an inner nerd, raise your hands, books are our teachers. They drop tasty little facts that we can impress others with. They take us to a place or a time we've never been, reveal the world around us from a completely different perspective we'd never conceive of on our own. For those of us who feel lonely or different, books are our friends, our comforters, our family. At their best, books are truth and they are hope. Sometimes you can separate a writer from her books, but in Bev's case, why would you even try? Her life and work is a testament to all the things we love as readers, strive to create as writers, and support as publishing professionals. She's the first to lend a hand to a fellow author outside smoking a cigarette, and the first to tell a cover designer or her clueless agent, "Babe, girlfriend's hair doesn't have tendrils that blow in the wind."
How many of you know that Bev is a lay minister and that she once stood in below zero temperature to help give ashes on a particularly frigid Ash Wednesday? She is the eldest daughter in a family of 7, and 2 of her sisters are here with us tonight. I would like to share with you one of my teary-eyed moments with Beverly. It was her 60th birthday, and she called me to say how blessed she felt to have me in her life. And I want to say in front of 2,000 of you how very blessed I feel to have Beverly Jenkins in my life.
So the reason we're honoring the incomparable Bev is that she embodies all the best of all the reasons why we love books. And though we all work in a field that celebrates the ability of words to accomplish miracles, ironically, sometimes we have to admit that words can't really express the depth of our admiration, respect, and love. To do that, one must turn to the artist herself. And so, to paraphrase the master, we honor Beverly Jenkins because she is the shit.
Can you hold on to it while I do my speech?
Absolutely will. On behalf of the members of Romance Writers of America, we would so like to congratulate the brilliant Beverly Jenkins. Congratulations. I will take this. Do you want to hold your necklace? Yes.
They're not supposed to make Mama cry. Okay. The 1870 U.S. Census was the first to list the 3 million formerly enslaved in the South as named individuals. On the register of Gibson County, Tennessee, were 2 names of note: 23-year-old Alan Kokolo and his 22-year-old wife, Clarissa. He was a farmer. She was a housewife. They had 2 children, a 2-year-old little boy and a baby girl of 10 months. Like many of the formerly enslaved, Alan and Clarissa could neither read nor write. The 1880 census shows Alan now married to a woman named Jane. Clarissa's fate has been lost through time, and the genealogy researcher didn't indicate Alan's literacy status. Now, those of you who know genealogy know that the 1890 census records were lost in a fire. But in the 1900 census, Thomas Kokolo, who appears to be Alan's son, is listed along with his wife Alice, the daughter of a preacher. Both she and her husband Thomas could read and write. Among their children was a baby boy born that same year. His name was Richard, and he was my grandfather. He moved from Kentucky to Detroit in the 1920s, married a woman named Henrietta Graves, and in 1928, Henrietta gave birth to the second of her 7 children, my mom, Dolores. And as Yoda might say, the reading is strong in this one. When she was in high school, many of America's libraries were segregated, not only in the South, but in northern cities like Detroit. But unlike in the South, where blacks were denied library cards and not allowed inside the building, Detroit's public library system allowed my mom to enter, but she had to ask for the books by black authors because they weren't mixed in with the rest of the collection. They were on a shelf behind the desk, and she was not allowed to borrow them, to take them home to read. But she wasn't deterred by that. She sat and read, devouring the works of great writers like Langston Hughes, Countee Cullen, and Arna Bontemps. In 1950, she married college student Cornelius Hunter and became pregnant with her first child, me, and began passing along her love of the written word by reading to me in the womb, which was a novel in 1950. As a toddler, my first books were cloth. I was too young to read them, of course, so I chewed on the pages. And she would say, "Eat those words, baby, eat those words, baby." And one of my earliest memories is her reading James Weldon Johnson's poem, The Creation. You know, the one that says, "And God said it was good." My sister Lorraine and I couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 at the time, but reading became as much a part of our world as my mama was. Over the next 12 years, Lorraine and I were joined by 5 more siblings, and until we were old enough to read on our own, Mama read to us every night, fairy tales, nursery rhymes, and didn't care how many books we brought home from the no longer segregated libraries or what we read. Every Saturday, I walked 12 blocks to the Mark Twain Library and brought home as many books as my skinny little arms could carry. By the time I was ready for high school, I'd read everything in that building, starting with the children's books. And the first book I remember checking out was The Borrowers, which was also my first introduction to series. And they were followed by the classics like the books by Beverly Cleary. And after the kiddie books came the teen books, like the Beanie Malone series and 17th Summer. On the other side of the building were the adult books, where I discovered romance. Mary Stewart, Phyllis Whitney, Victoria Holt, Jane Aiken Hodge, Daphne du Maurier, and Georgette Heyer. At one point during those years, my dad's sister Cecilia passed away, and he returned from the funeral with a box of her books. When people died, I got their books. Inside was the complete works of Shakespeare. I was 13. Took me a while to figure out the language, but I did, and thus began my love affair with the Bard. I also love comics, courtesy of my mom's youngest brother, Henry, who was still young enough to be living with my grandparents at the time. And he had dresser drawers full of Batman and Superman and the rest. I was so deep into these stories. I remember arguing with my mother when I was about 8 about how many planets were in the solar system. I said 10. She said, no, 9. 10, I said. She said, okay, name them. So I named them all, and I added Krypton as number 10. She chuckled, shook her head, and left me to my delusions. But nobody told me comics were fiction. I mean, I knew fairy tales weren't real, but Superman was, and so was Krypton. My love affair with science fiction began at my grandmother's house, too. She had a huge bathroom closet that originally held linens. But by the time my siblings and my 20 or so first cousins came along, large family, it was filled with the books my mother and her 6 siblings had accumulated over the years. And among them was a book called The Eye, if I'm remembering the title correctly. I have no idea who the author was, but the earth was slowly falling into the sun, and the plot centered on one family trying to deal with the reality that everything and everyone they knew would eventually burn up and die. As each day as the sun grew closer and closer. Talk about a page turner. I was 12, and I could not put that book down. Now, as I grew older, I knew that all I wanted to do in life was work in a library. That dream came true for me as a student while attending Michigan State University. The years after I left school and headed up MSU's graduate library. And after my marriage at the library of Park Davis Pharmaceuticals. And yes, I was writing on the side because I had to do something with all those words I'd eaten as a toddler. But being a writer was never a goal until June 3rd, 1993, when Ellen Edwards called my house to buy Night Song. You have no idea what it means to be a descendant of a people who by law were denied access to the written word, and be here before you this evening as a celebrated, award-winning author. So now, here I stand, Beverly Elaine Hunter Jenkins, first of her name, descendant of slaves, daughter of Dolores, slayer of words, and the 2017 recipient of RWA's Nora Roberts Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you.
Sisters are coming up and going to cry. I never feel more like Dolly Parton when I want to say, you know, nobody cries alone in my presence. Okay. Congratulations, Beverly. You are an inspiration to every person in this room. You are a good friend to so many of us, and RWA is so freaking lucky to have you because you are a role model and a colleague and a friend of this organization, and we are so much better for it. And now, everybody dry your eyes. We'll make you cry again later. We have more awards.
This 2016 RITA winner met her friend Jamie Gold on Twitter before she was even published. Today, they chat way too much on Facebook, and when Angela won her RITA last year, Jamie was at her table in real life to celebrate. Here to present the RITA for Paranormal Romance is USA Today best-selling author Angela Quarles.
The RITA finalists for Paranormal Romance are Bayou Shadow Hunter by Debbie Herbert, Harlequin Nocturne, and Leslie Tuttle, editor. The Beast by J.R. Ward, New American Library, Kara Welsh, editor. The Champion of Baresh by Susan Grant, self-published, Mary Morin, editor. Enchanted Warrior by Sharon Ashwood, Harlequin Nocturne, and Leslie Tuttle, editor. Ghost Gifts by Laura Spinella, Montlake Publishing, Allison Dasho, editor. The Leopard King by Anna Geary, self-published, Sasha Knight, editor. The Pages of the Mind by Jeffy Kennedy, Kensington Publishing, Peterson Flaben, editor. And Where the Wild Things Bite by Molly Harper, Pocket Books, Abby Zittel, editor. And the RITA for Best Paranormal Romance goes to The Pages of the Mind by Jeffy Kennedy.
Wow, I mean, isn't Beverly Jenkins amazing? I want to give a shout out to all of my fellow finalists in paranormal category. We are a massive category. People writing science fiction, people writing paranormal romance, writing fantasy, and everybody is doing such amazing work, and I'm so excited to be on this list in the first place. I would like to give thanks to my editor at Kensington, Peter Sempleben, who's not here tonight but is streaming from home, so thank you, Peter. Also big thanks to Rebecca Cremonisi at Kensington, who does production. She made these books perfect, and I'm immensely grateful. I'm not graceful. And I would also like to thank, I've had several agents who've shepherded this whole series through. So thanks out to Pam Vittorio and Lori McLean and Connor Goldsmith, and my agent now, Sarah Younger, who has been amazingly supportive. And then I want to say something to all of you who are aspiring writers tonight. I came to my first RWA in 2008, and I knew not one person. I came and I pitched to an agent and an editor, and they both made requests, and then I went and had a glass of champagne by myself at the bar. No, it was great, because I was happy. It wasn't that pitiful, okay? But I was here in Orlando in 2010 and pitched to an agent who told me that my work fell in the cracks between genres. And I went to the bar and I cried, but this time with my friends. And so I just want to tell those of you who are here, who are pitching, who are querying, you do you. You keep going, and one day, maybe you'll be up here. Thank you, everyone.
I am clearly not Peter Sempleben, but on behalf of Peter and Kensington, we just wanted to thank the RWA for this wonderful honor. Thank you.
Our next presenter says co-writing a book with two fellow RWA members led to the greatest friendships of her life, something she'd choose over a best-selling book any day of the week. Here to present the RITA for Best Erotic Romance is New York Times and USA Today best-selling author Tracy Deebs.
Thank you, I will.
The RITA finalists for Best Erotic Romance are The Dirty Secret by Kira A. Gold, Karina Press, Libby Murphy, editor. The Master by Tara Sumi, New American Library, Claire Zion, editor. Off the Clock by Ronnie Lauren, Penguin Random House, Berkeley, Kate Seaver, editor. Ravenous by M.S. Force, HTJB Incorporated, Linda Ingmanson, editor. And last but definitely not least, Three Sweet Nothings by Nikki Sloan, self-published, Lori Whitwin, editor. Oh my gosh. And the RITA goes to Off the Clock by Ronnie Lauren.
Okay, so last year I won one of these and completely freaked out up here. I don't remember it, I pretty much blacked out. So I planned this year to be more poised, but then when I decided I was gonna try to write a speech, then I got superstitious. So I didn't write a speech, and now I'm really superstitious. I'm never writing a speech ever again, because clearly this works. Thank you to RWA, this is amazing. And my husband Donnie got to be here this year. He wasn't here last year, so hi to him. My son Marshall at home, who's watching online, mommy misses you. And my parents, see, I'm starting to lose it. I can't keep it together. Thanks to my friends. Like everyone has said up here, RWA gives us people from our tribe. And my first RWA was in Orlando in 2010. And I only knew one person, Jamie, who's out there. And we're still friends to this day, and I've met great friends, Jenny and Dawn, my critique partners, and people who I go to when, I don't know what to do with my book. So this is a wonderful organization, and I'm very thankful to be part of it. So thank you.
Ronnie is such a talented author and such a wonderful person to work with. On behalf of Berkeley, I just want to thank the RWA for recognizing her.
Tonight, as we celebrate RWA friendships, I think it's important to remember that most of us start out in this business not knowing anyone. I came from a tiny town that didn't even have an RWA chapter. Heck, it didn't even have a stoplight. I didn't have a critique group, and I've never been the kind of person who really makes friends easily. So when I was at a small conference in 2008, it took me a little while to muster up the courage to introduce myself to one of my agency sisters, Sarah Reese Brennan. Now, if you know Sarah, you'll appreciate this story. So Sarah was there all the way from her home in Dublin, Ireland, and I told her how I'd always wanted to go to Ireland, and Sarah quickly said, "Oh, you should come. We'll rent a castle." Well, yeah, I laughed, right? Because that's what you do when someone says, "We'll rent a castle." But Sarah was deadly serious. She said, "Oh, no, castle rental is incredibly affordable." So you go home and you Google castle rental when that happens, right? And it turns out castle rental is really affordable. It is. If you have a big group of friends to split the cost. But I didn't have a big group of friends. I had friend. And so I mentioned to her, and she mentioned it to someone, who mentioned it to someone, who mentioned it to someone, and before you knew it, we were 10 authors spending a week in an Irish castle. We were writing and cooking and bouncing ideas off of each other, all while trying to avoid the castle ghost. There was also a delusional peacock, I should add, but we were more scared of the ghost. And the moral of the story remains, in good times and in bad, peacocks and ghosts, none of us can survive this crazy business without our friends. And so now I would like to ask RWA President Leslie Kelly to join me on stage for a special presentation.
We all know what an achievement it is to write and publish even one novel. So imagine writing and publishing 100 novels. That's a lot of love. We at RWA mark this amazing achievement each year with a Centennial Award for members who have met that 100-book milestone in their careers. I'm so pleased to announce this year's winners. Please stand when your name is called. Andrew Gray. Sharon Sela. And Jill Shalvis. Thank you so much, and now back to the show.
And now, to present the RITA for historical romance short, USA Today best-selling author Julianne Long, who says, if you think her characters are colorful, you should meet her friends. Please welcome four-time RITA finalist Julianne Long.
The nominees for the Best Historical Romance Short are Do You Want to Start a Scandal by Tessa Dare, Avon Books, Tessa Woodward, editor. Duke of Sin by Elizabeth Hoyt, Grand Central Publishing, Amy Pierpont, editor. A Duke to Remember by Kelly Bowen, Grand Central Publishing, forever. Alex Logan, editor. Left at the Altar by Margaret Brownlee, Sourcebooks, Casablanca, Mary Altman, editor. The Study of Seduction by Sabrina Jeffries, Pocketbooks, Mickey Newting, editor. Taming the Highlander by May McGoldrick, St. Martin's Press, Swerve, Elizabeth Poteet, editor. And the winner of the Best Historical Romance Short is A Duke to Remember by Kelly Bowen.
Wow, that's a lot of people. All right, I wrote this down because I know I don't have 2 weeks to come back and edit the speech. So I'm a firm believer that you're only as good as the team that's behind you. So the following thanks are in order. My agent, Stephanie Lieberman, who has been in my corner from the very beginning. My editor, Alex Logan, who is very, very good at what she does. The entire Forever team, who makes my books beautiful and polished and work very hard on my behalf. My family, who has supported me from the very beginning, and has also been very, very patient when it comes to deadlines. If you want to teach a 9-year-old how to cook, have a deadline. And last but certainly not least, the entire RWA community. Again, I came into this not knowing anybody, and the kindness and the enthusiasm of this group has just been absolutely wonderful, and I'm very grateful for everything. Thank you very much.
Last year, I made Kelly my date at the RITAs, and I said to her, next year will be your year, and I'm so happy to be proven right. When she came in on submission, I said to my manager, her prose sparkles, and my manager said, that's very unlike you to say. I'm grateful to work with Kelly Bowen, and on behalf of Grand Central and Forever, thank you to the RWA for this recognition.
Our next presenter says whether it's a bad review, a bad word count, or even a bad hair day at conference, there's nothing like sisterhood to keep you going. Thank goodness she's got the Dreamweavers Golden Heart Class of 2014. Here to present the RITA for Romance with Religious or Spiritual Elements is 2016 RITA winner, Christy Ann Hunter.
The RITA finalists for Best Romance with Religious or Spiritual Elements are Close to You by Kara Isaac, Howard Books, Beth Adams, editor. Keeper of the Stars by Robin Lee Hatcher, Thomas Nelson Incorporated, Amy McConnell and Leslie Peterson, editors. My Hope Next Door by Tammy L. Gray, Amazon Waterfall Press, Amy Hosford, editor. Trust My Heart by Carol J. Post, Amazon Waterfall Press, Aaron Callaghan Mooney, editor. And the RITA for Romance with Religious or Spiritual Elements goes to My Hope Next Door by Tammy L. Gray.
Wow, so I did write a speech and then I left it on my bed at the room, so I'm going to try to wing it here. First and foremost, I have to thank God. He's given me a career that I love, and it was an unexpected blessing, and I'm so, so grateful that I get to have a voice in the romance industry. I also want to thank my husband, Todd, who's watching online. He is my real-life hero, and he makes writing romance very, very easy. And to my children, Isaac, Autumn, and Christian, they are my biggest cheerleaders. I don't really let them read what I write, but to them, I'm the best writer in the world, and they'll tell me that all the time, and I'm so grateful. I want to thank my writing critique partners who make me rewrite everything, and I hate them most of the time, but then I love them when it's all done. To my wonderful agent, Jessie Kirkland, she rejected 2 ideas before this one and said, nope, you can do better. And she was right, and I'm so grateful for that. And to the wonderful editors and staff at Waterfall Press, they let me have a very unique voice in the inspirational genre, and I'm so grateful that they allowed that. And for those writers out there, there's always that moment in your career when you just stop the noise, when all the voices trying to speak into your writing and into your life just have to stop, and you go, this is who I am, my uniqueness is what makes me different, and you just embrace your voice. And this was the book that I finally did that, and I am so grateful. Thank you, RWA. This is a huge honor for me. Thank you so much.
On behalf of Amy Hosford, Erin Mooney, and the entire Waterfall Press team, I'd like to thank RWA for this honor and congratulate Tammy. It's a big thrill. Thank you.
When we first started asking for friendship stories from RWA members, there was one that really grabbed our hearts, showing us what happened when one of our members wanted something very, very badly, but she wanted it even more for her friend. In an act of true generosity, one angel inside of RWA gave author Linda Goodnight the gift of love and friendship when she needed it most. Okay, I want to warn you guys now, you're going to need your tissues. We are getting ready to ruin your makeup. Let's take a look.
The year 2011 is one of the worst years of my life. In October of that year, my son was diagnosed with terminal cancer and given 8 months to live. Travis was a devoted father, husband, a brilliant surgeon, and he was only 37. A few weeks later, my brother, who lives in Atlanta, was worried about his sister and his nephew, obviously, and decided to drive to my home in Oklahoma for Thanksgiving. Just outside of Birmingham, a truck driver crossed the center median and hit my brother head on, killing him instantly and critically injuring my sister-in-law. As you can well imagine, the last thing on my mind that fall was entering the RITA. And by the time I did think about it, it was too late. The contest was closed. The entries were filled. So I contacted RWA to let them know I would be glad to judge my category. And Carol said I couldn't judge because I was entered. One of my love-inspired friends, who chooses to remain anonymous, contacted Carol and explained all that I had been through that fall and asked if she could enter my book. And Carol said the only way that was possible was if someone else withdrew her book from the contest and replaced it with mine. And that's exactly what this person did. She gave up her slot, her opportunity for her wonderful book to win a RITA. She forfeited her entry fee to me. She bought 5 copies of my book, paid the postage to ship it to RWA, and entered my book instead of her own. I cannot even begin to tell you how much that act of compassion and total unselfishness meant to me during that awful time in my life. Imagine how thrilled I was when I got the call. The Christmas Child, the book that never should have been entered in the first place, was a RITA finalist. Now, it's not so much finally in the RITA or winning a contest, although that's amazing, it's wonderful. But what really touches me and moves me about this is that someone would be willing to go that extra mile, to even think to do such a thing for someone who is hurting. And so my prayer, my hope for this love-inspired friend, whoever she may be, this generous, compassionate, giving, caring, incredible, shining example of humanity, is that she will be blessed 1,000 times over for what she did for me during my time of need.
Our next presenter, New York Times and USA Today best-selling author Jill Shalbus, was convinced RWA would blacklist her from the national conference after her roommate, Helen K. Diamond, let her walk into the men's bathroom. twice. Please welcome to the podium Jill Shalvis.
I can't see that one. The finalists for the RITA for Contemporary Romance Short are APB, Baby by Julie Miller, Harlequin Intrigue, Allison Lyons, editor. Breaking Good by Madeline Ash, Tool Publishing, Holiday, Sinclair Sahni, editor. Christmas on Crimson Mountain by Michelle Major, Harlequin Special Edition, Gail Chasen, editor. Falling for the Rancher by Tanya Michaels, Harlequin American Romance, Johanna Raisinen, editor. Far From Home by Lorelei Brown, Riptide Publishing, Gwen Hayes, and Sarah Lyons, editors. His Stolen Bride by Barbara Dunlop, Harlequin Desire, Catherine Lai, editor. A Malibu Kind of Romance by Sanithia Williams, Harlequin, Kamani, Shannon, Chris, editor. Overwhelming Force by Jeannie Crouch, Harlequin Intrigue, Allison Lyons, editor. Searching for Disaster by Jennifer Probst, Pocket Books, Pocket Star, Lauren McKenna, editor. Two Doctors and a Baby by Brenda Harlan, Harlequin Special Edition, Susan Littman, editor. And the RITA for Best Contemporary Romance Short goes to Christmas on Crimson Mountain, Michelle Major.
Why didn't anyone else mention how bad they want to throw up when they get up here? I also prepared a speech, and I don't know where it is. But, and after seeing that last clip, you know, it really puts everything in perspective, because this is amazing and the books are amazing. But what makes RWA the most amazing is the friendships and the love. And I have met some of not just my best writer friends in RWA, but some of my best friends in life. And you've gotten all of us through so many struggles, and I'm really grateful for RWA. I'm really grateful to the RITA judges. Before the award ceremony started, we were at the table picking who would win from this category, and it wasn't me. So, because that's how great the talent was. So I feel very honored to be here. I feel very honored to be a Harlequin author, and particularly special edition. Gail, the most amazing, supportive, beautiful editor I could imagine, and Susan and Megan, and I just am really, really happy, and I think my family is watching at home, so if you are Matt and Jackson and Jesse, thank you for putting up with how I don't clean the house, and I only make food that comes from Costco, and I appreciate that. And I know my mom and my aunts and my sister are watching, and I have the best codependent, dysfunctional family that I am grateful for, and thank you so much for this.
I am so happy. I've always loved Michelle's voice. This book captivated me from the beginning. And thank you so much for Harlequin, RWA. Thank you for recognizing it.
Wait. Oh, yes.
And I forgot Nalini, my agent, because I didn't write it down. You are like tiny Wonder Woman, and I would not be here without you. Thank you.
New York Times and USA Today best-selling author Brenda Jackson became a lover of historical romance when, on a business trip, her friend gave her a copy of The Flame and the Flower by the legendary Kathleen Woodiwiss. She fell in love with the hero and ended up naming one of her sons after him. Presenting the Rita for Contemporary Romance Mid-Length, please welcome Lifetime Achievement Award recipient Brenda Jackson.
Good evening. The Rita finalists for the Contemporary Romance Mid-Length are Back in the Saddle by Karen Templeton, Harlequin Special Edition, Gail Chasen, editor. Barefoot at Midnight by Roxanne St. Clair, South Street Publishing, Krista Yanta, editor. Carolina Dreaming by Virginia Contra, Berkeley Publishing Group, Cindy Wan, editor. Fast Connection by Megan Erickson and Santino Hassel, self-published, Edie Danford, editor. Lone Heart Path by Jody Thomas, Harlequin HQN, Brittany Lowry, and Susan Swinwood, editors. Off the Hook by Laurel Jury, Penguin Random House, Love Swept, Junessa Valoria, editor. Once and for All, an American Valor novel by Cheryl Etchison, Avon Impulse, Priyanka Krishnan, Rebecca Lukash, editors. Tell Me How This Ends by Victoria DeLaho, St. Martin's Press, serve, Eileen Rothschild, editor. The Turning Point by Marie Meyer, Grand Central Publishing, Forever Yours, Mega Parik, editor. Wanderlust by Ronnie Lauren, Penguin Random House, Berkeley, Kate Seaver, editor. And the Rita for the Best Contemporary Romance Mid-Length goes to Carolina Dreamin' by Virginia Contra.
Wow, it's so bright up here. Those of you who know me know I have a note. But
but I can't read it. I said yesterday that our books are about the persistence of hope. And these contests, entering the RITA, entering the Golden Heart, that they're about the persistence of hope too. I'm wearing my Golden Heart from 1998. My fellow finalists are all so talented, and this is such an honor, and I'm really surprised. I want to thank my readers. I want to thank Carolyn Martin, who reads everything first. I want to thank you, Cindy, for believing in these books. I want to thank my agent, Robin Rue. I want to thank you, RWA, so much for making so many of my dreams come true and teaching me all I know about writing. And Michael, my darling, thank you for teaching me everything I know about love. Thank you, guys.
Oh my gosh. Virginia and I were doing a count, and I think this is her 6th nomination, and 6th one with me at least too. And I am been so blessed to work with her. And thank you so much, RWA, for this honor. And that's, oh gosh, I don't even know what else to say. Thank you.
Many of us became friends while bonding over the business, but sometimes it's a fan who ends up being a true friend and reminds us that what we're doing as romance authors is far more important than what we often give ourselves credit for. This one, I hate to do this, guys. You're gonna cry again. Are we ready? Okay. I should have warned everybody, just bring hand towels. Don't mess with tissues for this year's Ritas. Okay, it's another tearjerker. Take a look.
For me, I was feeling helpless and hopeless and lost and really feeling like my job was stupid. I mean, I was making up stories for a living. What is this? I mean, I should have been back in the classroom teaching, I should be volunteering, I should be doing other things, and I was paralyzed and unable to write, to be honest with you.
On September 11th of 2001, I was on a plane moving to New York City. I was a recent college graduate. When everything happened, we were stuck in the air for many hours. I was terrified. I had no idea what was going on. The only thing I had with me to distract me from all of that was this Harlequin Blaze novel by Julia Elizabeth Leto, and I kept reading it over and over again, and I read the back, and I read the bio. And I just escaped into the pages of this romance novel because everything was happy in the romance novel, and everything ended happily, and everyone was safe. So when I got off the plane, and I finally got somewhere safe, I emailed the author to thank her for having that book and for being there for me.
My book got her through being on a plane, being afraid, trying to get to her family, and it gave me purpose again. And it was like, wow, what I'm doing is important. These stories that we tell, yes, they're escapism, and that's wonderful, and it's awesome that we get to do that, but they also provide solace and comfort in ways that I don't think we're all totally aware of until something like this happens. course, the best part of the story is that we started a conversation after we communicated together, and I found out that she was from my hometown, and we became friends, and I encouraged her to be a writer.
So I joined RWA, and I joined the Tampa chapter, Tara, and she introduced me to the first editor I ever submitted a book to.
Now she's one of the best writers that I know, and absolutely one of my best friends ever.
We talk all the time. She came to my wedding, and it was just a beautiful story that came out of a really scary time, a tragedy.
This former RITA finalist says she doesn't know what she would do without friends who understand the importance of man chest and a six-pack to work through writer's block. Here to present the RITA for mainstream fiction with a central romance, please welcome Sonali Dev.
The RITA finalists for mainstream fiction with a central romance are The Color of a Promise by Julianne McLean, self-published, Pat Thomas, editor. The Depth of Beauty by A.B. Michaels, Red Trumpet Press, Rachel Daven Skinner, editor. The Moon in the Palace by Wayna Dye Randall, Sourcebooks Landmark, Shayna Drays and Anna Michaels, editors. Now That It's You by Tana Fensky, Montlake Publishing, Krista Strover and Christopher Werner, editors. And the RITA for mainstream fiction with a central romance goes to The Moon in the Palace by Wayna Dye Randall.
I really cannot believe this, by the way. Many people helped me to get this. First, I would like to thank my agent, Shannon Hassan from Muscle Lion Agency. She's been with me from the very beginning. I'm very grateful to her. And my extremely talented editor, Anna Michaels. She was the best, and she helped me go through many revisions and perfecting the story. And Shayna Dress, she believed in me from the very first and acquired this book. And many people, editors and marketing team and Sourcebooks, thank you to Dominique Rika for funding this wonderful company, and Lethea Williams for sending the books to RWA, and Sarah Hartman-Siskin for selling those foreign rights. But I really needed to mention one more editor. I owe her my profound gratitude. Her name is Deb Worksman. Right? Did I? Oh. Okay, I have to say this, I have to mention this because in 2014, I queried her at first, and at that time, I had been writing this same book for 10 years, and I received 82 rejection letters. So I said, well, you know, good, enough is enough, and this authoring thing is never going to work for me. So I took a job. But then, out of blue, Deb emailed me and she said, "This book is so wonderful. I want to make it happen. We will make it a trilogy." So bam, from there, I quit the job. So now, thank you so much to my husband. He's not here because he's home watching my kiddos, Annabelle and Joshua. And thank you so much for everything. And the RWA, this is my first time coming here, and you are my first love. Thank you. And thank you, everything. I have one last thing to say. Thank you so much for giving me the chance. Thank you for giving my Empress Wu a chance. Thank you.
Good evening. I am neither Shana nor Anna or Deb Worksman, but on behalf of Source Books and our editors, I want to say that it's Wena's evocative narrative voice that really makes this book sing. She's an extremely hard-working writer, but it's her rich imagination that really brings the story of Empress Wu to life. And so this honor is very much deserved, and I would like to thank RWA for recognizing the transcendent romance in Wena's writing. Thank you.
Here to present the RITA for Best First Book is a New York Times and USA Today best-selling author who met her best friend Karen Tabke at a PASIC retreat in 2007. Their friendship has survived FaceTiming during dog walks, thousands of frequent flyer miles, and countless bottles of Cristal and Patron. Ladies and gentlemen, Sylvia Day.
The RITA finalists for Best First Book are Alterations by Stephanie Scott, Bloomsbury Spark, Meredith Rich, editor. Before Goodbye by Mimi Cross, Amazon Skyscape, Miriam Juskowitz, editor. Close to You by Kara Isaac, Howard Books, Beth Adams, editor. The Distance from A to Z by Natalie Blitt, Harper Teen, Annie Berger, editor. Once and For All, an American Valor novel by Cheryl Etchison, Avon Impulse, Priyanka Krishnan, and Rebecca Lukash, editors. Summer of Supernovas by Darcy Woods, Penguin Random House, Crown, BFYR, Emily Easton, editor. And the RITA for Best First Book goes to Once and For All, an American Valor novel by Shara Etchison.
Okay, this is thank you because before I left, my youngest told me, if you come home with empty-handed, you're not coming in the door. So, house key, thank you. Wow. Thank you to everybody at Avon. It's been awesome. And not just, the editors and the publicity and marketing and the other writers, and oh my God, they just put up with my antics, and Lord have mercy. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to Stephanie Evans, my agent, who just yanked me out of a slush pile and called me one day in my car, and it was amazing that I got to wherever I needed to go. And then to my family, you know, it's good that they've finally accepted that Fend for Yourself is as a legit dinner night as Taco Tuesday and Pizza Friday. So, and then most of all to my friend Elizabeth Millette. She's live streaming. She's cussing me right now. I can hear her in my head. I would not have known about RWA without her. She was a member, and in 2011, she said, let's go to New York. I was like, okay. And so I came as a guest. I wasn't even a member. But so I came in, and everybody was so lovely. They're like, what do you write? I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, well, that's okay. You can hang with us. I was like, okay, y'all are cool. This is good. And I picked up every free book in the place that I could get my hands on, and I went home and I read every one of those books, and I went, this is where I want to be. This is it. So thank you to all of those authors that I read your books and I learned from, and I hope I did okay. Thank you.
I am neither Priyanka nor Rebecca, but on behalf of Avon and Avon Impulse, I just want to say congrats to Cheryl. It's so well deserved, and thank you to RWA for recognizing it.
Well, that's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your conference, everyone. And remember, it's Thursday. I don't want any of you checking in for your flights or going upstairs and starting to pack or anything like that. We've got a couple days left, so you don't have to go home tomorrow. No one leave early. No one take Angie's pants. No one spill wine on Cindy. If you want the details on that castle, it was $1,000 for the whole week for 10 of us, $100 a person. Incredibly affordable, right? Just remember, everyone, go out there for the rest of this conference and be good to each other. Maybe reach out to someone across the table that you haven't met yet. Maybe say hi in the elevator. You never know. They may turn out to be your next best friend. And speaking of friends, a new addition this year, which is very exciting. There is a party right outside those doors. So take off your shoes and let's dance, everybody. That's the Ritas. Thank you very much.